Hey guys, Jess here. I want to welcome you to Unit 1 of the Cleanup Classroom series. I have taken my step-by-step guide here that you can get over at the Craft Room Cleanup Facebook group. I'll make sure to put a link below in the description. And I have broken it down into different units available for free at the Facebook group. And I wanted to take it up another level and create a video classroom series to go along with this tutorial or this guide. I myself am a very visual learner, so as much as I appreciate written material, I also find it helpful to watch videos to help to learn some more in addition. So I'm taking my guide and breaking it down to even smaller modules so we can take this and learn from it and to help organize your space and take back your happy place, right? Like a lot of us, what I'm seeing on the group is that a lot of us just can't even make it into our spaces because it stresses us out so much. And I want to help you get your mojo, help you feel confident so you can get in there, tackle your mess, and enjoy your crafty space again. Like that is the goal, and that is the purpose of the Cleanup Classroom. So this is Unit 1, Step 1, or Module 1, and we are going to talk today about what kind of crafter are you. Alright, before you run out to the store and buy all your organizational items, your boxes, your bins, your cubbies, your shelves, new furniture, before you do any of that, you need to understand how you craft and your organization style, and you need to do some self-evaluation first. You really need to figure out what you need, and what you need is driven by how you create and how you use your space. So this step 1 in the Unit 1 module, which is basically what kind of crafter am I, we're gonna dig a little deeper and ask some probing questions so you can figure out exactly how you craft and how you create, because that's going to drive your organization. I know this seems kind of like maybe like a pointless step, but if you take the time, it's really beneficial, because some of us just naturally create and we don't stop to think about how we go about it, and we don't realize how that actually correlates with our spaces and surrounding and how we seek out supplies and how we should store supplies. So I'm really trying to get you to start at the very, very beginning, understanding the way you work and the way you function, the way you craft, and that's going to help feed your organization down the road. So I hope you follow along. I hope you find this helpful, and I really encourage you to go step by step because it's going to help you maintain in the long run too. So join me, will you, in Unit 1, and let's talk about what kind of crafter you are. And what do I mean by that? So what I mean by is when you go to create, whether it's scrapbooking, painting, sewing, stitching, any other type of craft, how do you get ready to do that? Like, how do you pull your items together? I'm a scrapbooker mainly, so I'm gonna gear towards that type of craft, but you can apply this to any sort of creative outlet, really. So when I go to create, I usually start with some sort of inspiration, right? Like a photo or a pattern paper or a kit that inspires me. And so when I have that one inspirational piece, I then go and look for other pieces to go with it. So if I start with my photo, I seek out paper, I seek out embellishments, I seek out stamps, I seek out thickers and so on and so forth, inks, mixed media, or whatever, that all match my paper or that support my photo. So when I look for those items, when I go to my craft room and look for the items, one, I have a dedicated space for them, a dedicated home for them, and two, I usually have them organized by color because that's how I scrap. I scrap by color mainly, but also by theme or collection. So that's what I'm going to look for when I'm seeking out my product. And so I think a lot of people don't realize that that might be just a subconscious behavior, but when you stop to think about how you go and reach for your supplies, that will help drive your organization. Because if you scrap by color, you may want to consider organizing your supplies and product by color as well. If you scrap by theme, you may want to think about organizing your product by theme or collection. You know, just really think about, you know, how you work and how you function and how you're going to look for these items, because that's going to make it a lot easier for you to figure out how best to organize them in your space. The second question I want you to ask yourself, and if you need to write these down, please do. I always find writing it down is helpful. I'm definitely a pen and paper kind of person, so I encourage that as well. Like, ask yourself these questions and just write it down. You may already know, like I said, subconsciously, but writing it down sometimes helps. So the second question is, where do you craft? So do you have a dedicated room or corner or wardrobe or shelving or some little area where you organize your craft supplies, whether it's an entire room or a little corner, or a rolling tote that you pull out, or a couple of rolling totes that you pull out to go scrap at your dining room table. Like, how do you scrap and where do you scrap? Okay? Or where do you create, for that matter? And then the second part to this question is, do you only create at home, or are you a traveling crafter? As a scrapbooker, I like to go to a lot of crops. So when creating an organization system for me, I think about, you know, grabbing some supplies and going to a crop. I like to do what I can to make my supplies portable. So I think about storage solutions that gives me that portability very easily. For example, I keep my kits, my collections in envelopes separately, so when I'm ready to go to a crop, I can just pick a couple envelopes, put them in my travel tote, and I'm on my way. I have embellishments, stickers, paper, everything I need that matches in a grab and go method. Now, you can't do that for all your supplies, but again, I do what I can, right, to limit what I pack and how I pack, and just to make it easy. It's travel, it's portable, and everything's all together. So if you're a traveling crafter, you may want to consider thinking about storing your items in a manner in which they're portable. You can take them with you. So that is question number 2. And then question number 3, you need to ask yourself in the self-evaluation, is, what is your ultimate goal with your craft room organization? I mean, the big goal, right, is to tidy it up so you have a place to craft, right? But dig a little deeper than that. Like, kind of envision your perfect organization in your space. Like, what does that look like to you? And write it down. Write down your thoughts. Like, what does your vision look like? Maybe even sketch it out if that's easier. But you want to know what your end goal is for your craft room. It could be a big goal. It could be a little goal. It could be as simple as, I don't want to see any more piles in my craft room. Or it could be, I want a complete revamp. It could be anything in between. But write it down, have a plan, have a goal, and we're going to start putting the pieces together. So I want you to take the time to really evaluate those 3 questions. Ask yourself those 3 questions and answer. Really look at yourself and figure out, how do I work? What's my flow? Like, who am I as a crafter? I promise you it is really going to benefit your organization in the future. So this is Unit 1, this is Module 1. What kind of crafter am I? So when you're ready and you've got your questions answered, we're going to move on to Module 2. And I hope to see you in that next video. Good luck, happy organizing, and I will see you again soon.